How arthropods became the dominant form of animal life on the Trolonga homeworld. On Earth, ever since the dinosaurs were wiped out, mammals have been the dominant form of life, mainly due to their adaptability and more efficient metabolism, allowing them to outcompete most of the slower, less efficient reptiles who survived the mass extinction. But the Trolonga homeworld, on the other hand, had a very different evolutionary history from Earth, which led to the arthropods becoming the dominant form of animal life instead. How will be explained in a moment, but first, I must explain something else. On Earth, arthropods have an open circulatory system instead of a closed one. This open system lacks lungs, vessels, or blood, and instead uses hemolymph, which is circulated in hollow chambers by a primitive heart and is oxygenated by special tubes throughout the body known as tracheae, which lead to specialized holes in the body known as spiracles, which draw in air. Arthropods on Earth evolved and kept this system millions of years ago instead of developing a closed system, as they never really needed to develop one and are doing pretty fine without it. But on the Trolonga homeworld, early land arthropods, in short, were forced to develop a closed circulatory system with lungs and veins due to the evolutionary pressure they faced from early land reptiles. Starting at the beginning of how this happened, said early land reptiles were both prey and predator to early land arthropods just after coming onto land in the planet's caves from the subterranean ocean, and were also around the same size as the arthropods due to the size of the caves they initially lived in, limiting their growth. But as the reptiles continued to evolve further and migrate into larger areas of the caves, they grew larger due to having more space and began to diversify greatly. The arthropods also grew and diversified in response, but their growth was limited by the planet's atmospheric oxygen levels and their own respiratory system, which on a side note is the reason we don't see giant arthropods on Earth today. The oxygen level now is simply too low for giant arthropods to function properly. Anyway, as the arthropods diversified, multiple species developed simple primitive lungs, similar to the book lungs spiders on Earth have currently, and a primitive form of vein system made from extensions in their internal sinuses, which, combined with the pressure to evolve, opened the evolutionary pathway for circulatory and respiratory evolution. The species with this new respiratory ability quickly started to evolve towards closed circulatory systems, outcompeted most of the old open circulatory arthropods, and many new species of larger arthropods started appearing, which would happen more as they evolved further. This new growth and metabolism efficiency boost, combined with how arthropods already reproduce and grow quickly, and their bodies being covered in solid, durable armor, gave them a massive evolutionary advantage over the reptiles. These new forms of arthropod would eventually develop a closed circulatory system and outcompete, outhunt, outadapt, and outbreed the slow reptiles, driving an overwhelming majority of them to extinction and securing the arthropod's place as the dominant form of animal life on land. But despite the success, the arthropods weren't done there. They continued to evolve, forming support endoskeletons to better manage their body weight, better muscular systems to more efficiently move, and diversified so much they eventually branched off into their own forms of mammals, reptiles, birds, fish, etc. And most of the resulting species this created have their arthropod heritage on display, often in bizarre but semi-recognizable ways, like this animal for example. Its deer-like antlers can move independently and slam shut violently, which it often uses to battle rival males during the breeding session or to fight off predators. And with that, we have covered how arthropods became the dominant form of animal life on the Trolonga homeworld. In summary, they developed a more efficient way of breathing early on, allowing them to get ahead before mammals could form, and later split off into other forms of life. If this interested you, go ahead and subscribe. Also, leaving a like would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, until next time, goodbye.